So I want to give a little tour of a project I don't talk about too much on the channel. I've been doing some volunteer work for the last year at a local middle school, just a few-minute walk down the road from my house. I'm helping students plan out a perennial forest garden at their middle school. This project got started mainly because I wanted more space to grow things, and I saw that while they were doing some great work here, the one teacher who was running it had a hard time keeping up with what is a fairly large property. The property was just turning into what he calls a groundhog refuge. And so I approached him and I was like, hey, if you give me a section of this to work with and to work with the students, we can plan out a bunch of perennials. So you don't have to worry about seed starting, planting. You know, once you get it going, it gets going. And ideally even, if you really prep it well, it's going to help do a lot of weed suppression. So most of your work will be in harvesting. So I've been working on this section here. It kind of comes up here and back around. It's about 1/10 of an acre, and I started prepping it about a year ago. I started laying down a layer of cardboard and then a thick layer of wood chips on top of that. Ideally, if we had access to it or lots of extra money, I would have also done a layer of compost underneath the wood chips. So cardboard, compost, wood chips. Because we're working with the middle school, some of the goals of this project are a little different than you might do at like a home forest garden. So one of the things is I wanted food that was really accessible to middle school students. So the trees are pretty much all apple and pear trees. I have a few pawpaw trees, but I didn't really plant any like persimmon trees. I wanted to plant food that for the most part would be harvestable within the school year. So that works better with perennials. Perennials tend to harvest earlier in the season or later in the season. And so that worked out really well. So again, apples and pears work great. I have a lot of strawberries, which should be harvestable like the last week of school. We're gonna plant out a bunch of honeyberries, which should be harvestable near the end of the end of the school year, and then I have like hazelnut trees, things like that, which will be harvestable at the beginning of the next school year. So let me give you a little walkthrough tour. This is after one season of growing, and we really haven't harvested much of it yet, but let's do a little walkthrough. So we have some strawberries and some lavender. I started to plant a hedge kind of rhubarb along the end here. I wanted to stop weed suppression from coming into the garden this way, and so rhubarb with its big leaves will overshade and really crowd out a lot of weeds. I've interspersed that with some like bloody dock, which also should meet a similar goal. Right now the strawberry tends to be the main ground cover. It's really easy, fun ground cover. The kids have a lot of fun planting it. I have some blueberry bushes here. The red leaves I need to do a better job fertilizing next year, but they'll make it over the winter. I started planting out some annuals just to get the ground growing. This is what's left over of a basil, some pepper plants. This is, I think that's a pear tree. And we have some mojito mint. I have some mint and some thyme scattered in here as another ground cover as well. I have a couple different types of berry bushes here. I want to say that this is a black currant, although it might be a yastaberry. Some more lavender. This is a fig tree. My first time growing figs, I'm a little unfamiliar with it, but I'm going to really enjoy eating those with the kids in a couple years here. There's a little pawpaw tree hiding back here. Right about here, just a little stick with some leaves on it. I got that from a local gentleman who's been, I think that was a seed of a Peterson pawpaw, not an actual grafted one. This is a black currant, some lavender. This here is a honey sweet pear tree we got from Stark Bros. We had to do a lot of things not with the small local nurseries I like to shop with, just because it worked easier to go with bigger people. Running the school's credit card and stuff. We've now officially gotten a few small local nurseries we can work with, but you'll see a lot of like Stark Bros plants in here for right now. Here's a yastaberry, another fig tree. This is an apple tree. This is some apple mint from my, I think, great-grandfather's farm. On this side we have yastaberry and some thyme or oregano, strawberries, yastaberry, apple tree. Started planting out some eggplants and some hot peppers, some sage. This row, I just kind of had a row of beans. We're gonna add some nitrogen to the soil. Some rosemary, another blueberry, rosemary, some elderberry right here and right here, lavender and comfrey. And then as you walk back up the path, I have a few things planted here and then a row in the back. A lot of this area, I just grew some tomatoes in this year, some potatoes. I really didn't do any weeding. I just recently pulled it all up and kind of ran through with a mower. But I hope to plant some more berry bushes, fill it out with a bunch of berry bushes in the spring. So here's a hazelnut tree, apple tree, pawpaw, gooseberry, pawpaw, gooseberry, and then I have a row of hazelnuts in the back. They should kind of create a little bit of a hedge along the back, and again as a weed suppressant, so weeds won't really make it past. I have to figure out, so eventually I want to, the forest garden is going to move up to here, and over here I have a row of asparagus, and I'll probably intersperse some strawberry plants as ground cover for the asparagus, and figure out what I want to do as some sort of like weed control to prevent the weeds from coming in. We're gonna fill all this grassy area in with wood chips eventually. We have a fig here. We have a multi-tree, a cocktail tree with peach, and a nectarine tree here. And then this is a cherry tree. So here it is. Just 1 year, most everything is just sticks with leaves on it at this point. They say first year sleep, second year creep, third year leap. So we got some time to wait. It's hard to tell the kids that, but they can come back in high school and eat as much as they want. Right now, as I'm thinking about this project, if I could do anything differently going forward, I would probably put a double layer of cardboard and even twice as much mulch as I did. The weeds in this spot have been just so heavy. Back home, I haven't really had that problem with weeds. I think mainly because what it was grass, but here there's just so much thistle, which just breaks through everything. So I would have doubled up everything to really try to suppress that. I also feel like I'm realizing today I would have done a better job recording varieties of certain things. There are 2 or 3 trees whose tags have been lost in the hecticness of everything, and the varieties are lost to time. But I've taken pictures of all the other trees with tags and kind of recorded where they are, so that way when inevitably those tags get lost, I still have a record. We're trying to figure out a system of labeling everything really well, but we want it to be permanent, we want it to look really nice. That's kind of pricey, so we're working at that. But yeah, there's some other really beautiful stuff going on over here. The middle school students helped plan out this beautiful row of cut flowers and have been selling flowers. They were selling sunflowers for fundraising for the garden efforts. There's a big pumpkin and watermelon patch in the back here that was really beautiful and productive this year. So if you ever want to help out at the garden, reach out to me. We'd love your help. Tomorrow, even, there's a work day at the garden. Reach out for more information or check out my Instagram page.